What's going on? What's going on? Brutus here with another brutally honest conversation. And as you can tell with this conversation, or title of the video, and I got the background noise as usual in my house. That's what it's like on the weekends. But I got none other than Zeus from Semper Invicta, or Zeus SI as his YouTube channel is. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate you taking time out on the weekend to talk to me. And I'll make sure that the link to your channel, because you do have a YouTube channel out there, Zeus SI, is in the description. And we'll build up in the conversation about how you started that channel and who you are as a player in the community. So let's first start with how did you, where are you from in the world? Are you from the US? Are you from India, Indonesia?
From New Hampshire in the United States.
You ever been any traveling outside of the United States?
No, I haven't.
You should try it, man. If you ever given that opportunity, explore the world. It's pretty awesome out there. Have you? When did you pick up the Clash of Clans game?
In about May of 2013.
And did you? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Clan Wars didn't come out to 2014. Is that about right?
I think so.
So how did you find the game? And until Clan Wars came out, what was your daily routine like? What clans were you part of? That kind of stuff?
My friend at school showed it to me, and he kind of played the game for he played on my account for the first day because I didn't know what to do, and I just watched him. I was just a part of a clan that was at my school. All my friends were in the clan. We didn't really do much except for farm and push.
So
that's about it.
You were big into pushing? No way. Oh, I guess there was nothing else to do but push, right?
Yeah, I was only a Tunnel 7, so getting to 2,000 trophies back then was pretty good for me. I was pretty newbie.
That seems about right. It's funny how far the game has come. When you first started playing the game, you were playing it fair play. Is that a correct assumption?
Yep.
Okay. And so when you got into, have you always been, because you're in the competitive war scene now, what made you come into the competitive war scene? Have you always been into competitive games rather? And what made you start your YouTube channel?
I've always been into competitive games. I used to play competitive Call of Duty, which I guess is laughable to some because League of Legends and stuff are much more competitive, but I used to play competitive Call of Duty. I always wanted to win. So when I found out that there was a competitive war scene in Clash of Clans through the Hulk Files, Swideman, and Clash of Predator, I tried to figure out how to get as good as they were. And it wasn't a secret back then that there were mods. So I just tried to join a clan that seemed pretty good. And once I did, I found out they were a mod clan. And I downloaded mod eventually when I was in that clan, so I wouldn't have to get kicked, or so I could at least stay up to par with their standards.
You mean their hit rates and stuff?
Yeah.
So was it a rule, the clan that you were in, that you had to download a third-party application? Or I guess I might get ahead of myself, but one example might be, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't mean any disrespect to any clan by being incorrect, because some of this is assumption and word of mouth. But Semper Invicta is an open mod clan. Are you allowed to be fair play in SI?
Yeah, in Semper Invicta, all of our Town Hall 9s are fair play, simply because it's too much of a hassle to build Town Hall 9s and mod them, and it's kind of a joke at this point in the game since loons are OP.
Yeah, Town Hall 9 modding is like having training wheels on a tricycle. I would agree with you there.
Yeah. So at this point in time, it's not a requirement, but back in the prime of TWC, I think it was a requirement to mod just so you could get triples and not have Town Hall 11s and Town Hall 10s dip down.
So I guess it's at the end of the day, the rule is just get the 3-star. We don't care how, and if you're modding, that's fine. Everybody's on the same page in that clan for there. And if you don't, well, you're still tripling, so it's fine. Is what I'm kind of hearing.
Yeah.
Right on. So basically, maintain your stats, except at all costs. Going back, you mentioned something about Call of Duty. I loved Call of Duty before I was big into Clash of Clans. I did. I really loved Modern Warfare. I loved. I think all the way up into Black Ops 2 is where I stopped kind of caring for a bit because it. Come on, the multiplayer is just basically same thing, different year. So I wasn't. I kind of lost interest a little bit about it. Well, when they came out with the Exo gear, I was like, "You got to be kidding me, man!" Like I liked it when it was all on the ground. I really did. But were you into the? People have said on channel before, and it made me laugh that they didn't think that you could use a third-party application in Call of Duty. And it blew my mind that they thought that, because I know that you do. I know there's God sheets and stuff like that, and third-party hardware and software that allows you to crack and hack the system. Were you ever at the competitive level scene, like EA level scene, or esports scene for Call of Duty, or just that's where your competitive nature start?
Yeah, I used to play a lot of game battles and UMG wager matches. And no, I didn't mod in Call of Duty simply because I didn't know how. I probably wouldn't either way, because you can get banned a lot more easily since it's
It's easier to pick up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they police it a heck of a lot more. PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, they police it a heck of a lot more, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's definitely been my assumption, is that my understanding as well as what you said is that the level of engagement from the developer in order to police and make sure that the game is played as the developer wanted it to is a big part of that. So coming into what drove you to pick up a third-party application and switch officially from playing it fair play as the game was intended versus now where it's an open mod environment in the clan that you're in?
It's a funny story. I initially picked up mod because of a bet. One of the co-leaders in the clan I was in at the time said it was a football game. I think it was Packers versus somebody else. I forget who they were playing.
Well, the Packers won, clearly. The Packers won, so.
Yeah.
I'm from Green Bay. That's why I'm saying that. So.
I don't really watch football, so I was just joking around and said, yeah, I'll get mod if whoever wins. And they ended up winning, I guess. So I just downloaded mod kind of as a joke. And then I started to use it and try to get better.
So it's funny. The Packers is the reason that caused you to go from fair play to open mod. Frickin' Packers. Way to go. I'm just kidding. So if I don't want to put words in your mouth, correct me if I'm wrong, from what I'm hearing is the main reason is, that's just what was acceptable in the clan. And in order to keep your hit rates up, as well as we're talking, I think people that are watching this video may, because I think, I know a lot of people take this for granted. There was two eras of the third-party application, aka modding world. There was before ban and after ban. The first ban hammer, right, that happened last year. Before that, like, people would have the third-party application on their device, their main account that they would use. There was little to no action or word really from Supercell, and so it was just like people would do it comfortably on there. And there wasn't FC. There was no friendly challenge. So you couldn't, in a fair play environment, practice, if you will, within a clan without, you'd have to go into global. You'd have to go into global to practice attack strategies and stuff like that. Or hopefully you get to use it in a war. So what I heard from you is that in order to keep your stats out and to become as good as some of those wars that you were, or replays that you were watching on, Swideman, who I know, as well as Hulk Files, I respect him as well, that in order to see those attacks, you needed to get more repetition in before the days of FC. Is that a correct assumption of what I understood?
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
So do you think, and for those listening here, I just want to reaffirm what my position is, that even though it's different than Zeus, I still have no problem talking to this guy, which I know may upset some people that share a similar view I have, and just take it to another extreme than I do. Which is, I am fair play. I don't condone, I'm not promoting the use of third-party applications. But I think it's an interesting conversation to have, and I know that there's a lot of assumptions and misconceptions. Myself was in one of them, and that's why I wanted to talk to Zeus about these things. So by talking to him like this, and why I asked this next question, because I think it's one question that a lot of people ask on both the fair play side and the open mod side, or just the third-party application user side, the modding side, is, in your opinion, do you feel that modding is good or bad for the game of Clash of Clans? And think of it holistically, the entire game, not just war.
It definitely has its good sides and its bad sides.
What would be the good things about it, in your opinion?
Back before the days of friendly challenges, it definitely helped people to become better. Now, so it's not really required, simply because we do have friendly challenges. And it does make mod wars fun because the bases in the TWC are arguably much better than the ones in the CWL, simply because we can test our bases a lot more. We can have like 3 or 4 people test one base at a time.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Whereas in CWL, you can only do friendly challenges and stuff like that, one person at a time, and you have to wait 24 hours after building it.
That's a good point.
In the CWL, there's definitely modding. I'm not sure to the degree of how much it occurs, but any modding where it gets you sort of an advantage is probably bad, like in the CWL with people building bases and practicing against like One Hive or WHF and whatnot.
So I'm gonna, before we go to the bad part, I actually agree with you, and I know this might blow some people's mind, but just hear me out on this. I do believe that the use of third-party applications, or just the fact that they're in the game, that they're not completely squashed out like you would see in other esport type games, or even just competitive games like you and I play. The reason why I think it's good is that I'll just mention a few attack strategies. The max attack, the Zeus, no offense, the Zeus attack. I call it the Zeus, but the 5 lightning on the CC. Attacks like this, heaven forbid, I even think Lalo. I do think, if I'm not mistaken, quad Lalo. These attack strategies were born from modders. And the reason why is what you just said, that before the days of FC, they were able to just do more of the same things that the fair play guys can do, except just engross more repetition. And in any sport or competition or exercise, anybody will tell you success. It's all about practice, repetition, which gains experience, which gains, I'll just leave it at that, experience. So I do feel that the if modding or third-party application didn't exist, eventually we would have uncovered these attack strategies. I just feel that it would have taken so much longer to get there. So in an odd way, one of the positive things that I do feel that modding has brought to the community of this game is it brought some creativity that all of us are using right now. And you can argue till you're blue in the face, but we all know who Moskri is. The majority of people watching this video will know who Moskri was. He introduced Max Attack, and that's an open mod clan. That's my 2 cents on that, as far as repetition in a weird way. What about in a not so good way? What ways do you feel that third-party application usage damages this game and community?
Like I said earlier, closet modding, like in the CWL or the minor league and all those fair play leagues, closet modding there is detrimental, simply because it's kind of mixing our communities together in an unnecessary way. We don't really need people closet modding against the bases that, like I said earlier, are arguably not as good. So it's kind of like taking candy from a baby, I guess.
I like that analogy. How do you feel personally? Are you saying that this is like the norm, the accepted norm of the? I guess I'm going to say TWC because I associate TWC or True War Clan system as an open mod war community. But are you saying that even the TWC and open mod community frowns upon closet modders, even though they also use third-party applications?
Yeah, definitely the majority of the TWC don't like closet modders.
You guys hunt them, don't you?
Semper Invicta has hunted Sword Drivers, NL, and Skyfall.
I heard of that war.
we don't really like Jeff, and he was lying with Verbalkin about how they're fair play, even though we exposed them numerous times.
I heard about that. You guys are savage. You know,
Thanks.
Well, because for those who don't know what a hunt is, it's when you have a spy or you have information somehow, some way, you know about the breakdown of a clan that's about to spin, and you know about the time they're going to spin, and you basically, old school matching, not through friendly war, but you randomly match them, and you randomly match them with an advantage, basically, so that you can beat them. And then before the friendly wars came out, this was a thing. It was all about those that thought they were untouchable. I always remember the modding clans would make it a point to come together to go out and give the other clan a red bar. The red line was notorious for that. And I know, here's what I don't understand on some people. It's like most people in the community that frown upon third-party application usage were celebrating the red line giving a red bar to Crystal Warrior when Tiger was the leader of that clan. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like everybody that was fair play was actually in support of what happened. And that's the way I looked at it. Because of the way that clan, some things that were being said publicly, basically. But that's a hunt right there, and they were hunted by people that cheat. So I don't know. I don't get what that sweet zone is, where that comes from. But I would for me it was interesting to know, because I did not know these things until recently, that the open mod community has a similar view of fair play about their view on closet modding. You know, people that pretend that they're fair play and are not. When I heard that, I was like, it's totally contradictory to what I hear from other channels and from other people, where unfortunately I did base part of my opinion from at first, like years ago, that anybody that uses a third-party application is a, quote, filthy modder. I just don't agree with that. I start to say that clearly, talking to you and then seeing some of the history that's taken place, we may have similar goals, but just in different worlds, and we want to stay in our own side of the worlds. Which leads me to my next question here. What is the end game for someone that uses third-party applications? What are you guys striving for that in the TWC, if both parties, I'm saying potties, like I got to go to the bathroom or something, but both sides are using third-party applications, don't you guys always get 100% both sides? How do you determine a winner if it's always a draw?
In the new rankings that we have, which are kind of a joke because of who it's led by.
Who is it led by?
I think it's Daria and Psyche. So
I don't know who those guys are. They're from the open mod community?
Yeah, it's basically a joke. But it's the way that we determine a winner is if it's not by stars, and if it's a double perfect war, then whoever has the best hit rate is determined to be the winner.
What have you guys asked or suggested whoever does it first?
That was suggested at first, but since time zones are an issue, like with all the Italian clans and Chinese clans, the wars can start at different times.
Oh, okay. Well, I can kind of see that argument. I really do. Is it common that it's perfect wars on both sides? Is that common in the TWC world?
Yeah, it's been like that for about 8 months, I'd say.
You know, I made a video about how we faced an open mod clan. I think it was Latin Empire, and I had no idea who they were. I didn't know them at all, but apparently they were known in the TWC and things like that. And you know, Okay, cool. I didn't know that. But they failed. An 11 clearly modded an attack for another 11. Not all of them failed. A lot of them got 11 on 11 threes. But one of them did. And I was so shocked. You know, I always thought that, why are you failing? You have a third-party application. You can practice till you're blue in the face. So how do they fail? If they using a third-party application doesn't guarantee your three?
No, it doesn't. Recently, there's been some randomness in the AI with the loons and queen walks and stuff like that with wall breakers and all the good stuff that you probably experienced too with the queen shooting walls and stuff. That's been happening a lot recently. The simulation, it doesn't go the same as the live attack recently. So a lot of attackers have to adjust mid-raid depending on if something bad happens.
So you're saying not all cheaters are the same and one can suck at cheating?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. And you started a YouTube channel, Zeus SI. When did you start that? Why did you start it? Are you the official channel for your clan?
I started it a few months after I got into SI, which was so probably about January of 2016, I think. And I just wanted to document all of the wars that we had. And I took a break a few times, but lately I've been getting most of the wars, unless they're wiped by maintenance breaks. I've watched a few, I'm not gonna lie, of your war recaps.
One thing that I like about your channel is your background music. You know, I have a wide range of music that I lend my ear towards, and so the music that you put on yours, I enjoyed. How do you get past the copyright? Because I'm listening to this, I'm like, how the fuck is this guy putting this on here with no copyright tags?
Sometimes the person who makes the music does have it copyrighted, and they'll take the income, which I don't really care about the money because I don't even monetize my videos.
There's your answer. You don't monetize at all.
Yeah. And I think a few times my video's been taken down because the owner doesn't want the music on other videos, so I just re-upload it with different music.
Yeah, I've been there before. Yeah, that explains it. I was like, man, how is he not doing this if you can't monetize it? But if you're not monetizing it, then like the Rocky one that I put up sometimes with the Rocky background theme song, that's not monetized at all, but I'm still able to put it up there with a copyright claim. So, because I find it funny, I don't care about monetizing either. All right, so I believe there was one. I believe I covered most of the conversations and avenues that I wanted to come through and talk through. There was one more that I wanted to give you an avenue to speak through. If last time we spoke, and because we've been speaking through DM here and there, we were supposed to do this conversation way back in February. At the time, I think most people know why now. We couldn't do it. You know why. I wasn't allowed to. But now I am. So I definitely wanted to come back and do this as soon as I could. But through our conversations, you had mentioned that you were even pondering possibly going fair play. Is this true?
Right now, I'm fair play because I only have one device and I don't really see a need to mod at Town Hall 9. But if Semper Invicta retired, I'd probably go fair play, maybe. Or I might just find another clan. I don't know if I'd be accepted to another mod clan just because I'm from SI and they might be a little bit suspicious. And even trying to get into a fair play clan, they might not let me in because a lot of them either don't like me or I don't even know if I am or not, but I might be CWO banned, which I wouldn't be surprised because I'm blocked by their Twitter, banned from their Discord.
Well, I can't imagine. Why do you think you've been blocked from their Twitter, man?
Something about causing drama, some nonsense.
Oh my god, I've seen what you've said. You're kind of like caption chat in a way. In fact, you support. You've echoed in your own words some things that they would say. I don't know what's up with that. I'm going to get off topic here for a bit, but I hate this. I hate the fact that you can't, even like in the CWO itself, or in the fair play community, heaven forbid you even mention or utter the word cheating, because that's shade or blah 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 blah. Like don't even say it unless you got proof. Well, if you got proof, why can't you bring it up? Like the only thing that inspires change is discussion first. You got to talk about what the issue is, identify it, present your information, and then change can happen. If you're like, oh, don't ask, don't tell, nothing ever happens. Nothing ever changes for the positive. I think that's so stupid, and I just hate the fact that anybody that has a different view of someone else, that they get censored in a way. I'm sorry, I'm biased because I'm also banned from the CWL lobby. Apparently, I'm not a nice guy. I don't know. Whatever. I digress. Was there? Here's your platform, man. I'm gonna say it in this one. Let's pretend SI retires, and you want to go fair play. What is the reason that any fair play clan that you might apply to should give you another look or another lot? Here's your chance. What do you have to say to them?
I'm funny, and a lot of people like me.
And you have dreamy blue eyes and long walks on the beach. And you give great helmet. Not so much. Well, I hope if that ever happens, that you get an opportunity to at least have a discussion with someone. I'm of the opinion, in order for something like the CWO to be, or any fair play for that matter, to be successful, it's all based on trust, as you mentioned, because it's so easy to cheat in closet. That I wouldn't blame them if they didn't even give you a shot, just simply because of the history. And I'm on the side of, if anybody has a bad history, just because of how, just look at the CWO season right now with them allowing prior modders in there, like a clean slate rule. It did not work out well. It just didn't. So I don't know if you'll get in there. I wouldn't hate them if they said no. I gotta ask, is the same level of hype that you see in the CWO, do you feel that or see that on the open mod side of like the TWC?
Recently I haven't, but in the past there's been, I think, 2 or 3 TWC tourneys, and there was a lot of hype around those, with like Shuba doing the drawings and the wars themselves. There was a lot of hype behind them, and that was probably the zenith of the new age TWC. There can be a lot of hype around the TWC if we do more tourneys, but from the looks of it right now, I don't see any in the future. There might be some, and that'd be pretty cool, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Fair enough. Do you have, I only have a softball question left for you, but before we do, this is your chance, your floor. Do you have anything that you wanted to say about anything that we haven't covered in topic at this moment? Here's your chance, your floor.
Earlier, you asked me if I'm the official SI YouTuber, and I didn't really get to answer that question because I just didn't get around to it. But no, I'm not the official one. That is Darth Texas, and he runs the SI Raids YouTube channel. I run my own, and that's basically it. Kind of like with what happened with you, there was Jake, and then there was you.
Wait,
but you kind of got the short end of the straw there.
Why'd you have to say it like me? What do you mean? What do you mean? And then there was you? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've talking to, I think Darth Texas is what you said. Yeah. I talked to him very briefly on Twitter. I'm glad he didn't eat me alive and just troll me. I'll find his YouTube channel, put his link in the description as well, because we did bring him up, and it's I can't say it enough. I'm not promoting modding. It's just, you guys are people. I'm just going to talk to you. You guys are doing your own thing in your own world on the rules that you guys want to play it as, and you guys want it to be separate. I got no issue with that. That's just the way that I'm looking at it. It's not my job to inspire hate. I can't get over that. I cannot get over the fact of somebody that you're supposed to hate them because they play a game differently than you. I mean, I understand there's been a toxic past, but not all cheaters are the same. I mean, we heard it here, and I hear it from other open modders as well, that the open mod world absolutely hate the closets. They absolutely hate them. And I find it so ironic that the fair play guys hate them as well. So it's like we can unite on that front. and then just let us retreat to our own worlds and do our own thing. You know, that's just where that's just kind of where I'm at, man. Softballs. We'll do marry, kill, and fuck your couch. Who in the game would you marry? Any character or night mode? By the way, the night mode builder is totally stoned compared to the regular mode. He is, man. And plus, it's all like slow mode, and there's no more than one. It's just one guy. Because come on now. He's like, nah, I got this, bro. I'm just doing some farming. But compared to like the regular builder guy who looks like he's on meth, I mean, straight up. But who would you marry? Who would you love? And who would you F your couch character-wise in both modes of the game?
I'd definitely marry the healer. Kill the witch, I guess.
But she's gonna spawn more Larrys, man.
Yeah, I guess so. But she's kind of like
she's
the most ugly female character.
But she looks the same when the lights are off. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Go ahead, keep going. So kill the witch, marry the healer, and who would you F your couch?
Probably the Valkyrie.
Because she's a sexy ginger ninja.
Oh yeah.
Right on, man. Well, that'll do it for this brutally honest conversation. I'm expecting a lot of hate from this video, and I want to put a challenge out there. And I'm a man of my word, so you can confirm if we ever get there that I hold up my end of the bargain on Twitter, which I know you hold me accountable to. But if we can get 75, I think is what we said, because average view is like 3,000 to 4,000 for this series. If we can get 75 dislikes, I will give Zeus a gift card to either Google Play or iTunes so that he can use on his account. So 75 dislikes, and I will send Zeus money. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Let's make it happen. Once again, it's Brutus and Zeus reminding you, you're going to be better than a double, and we will check you next time.